What if I told you everything you think you know about vampires is wrong? Most of us grew up with the same iconic image: pale skin, sharp fangs, a flowing black cape, and a mysterious magnetic presence. But the true origins of vampire legends are far stranger, far older, and far more human than anything Hollywood has ever shown us. And the deeper you look into these myths, the clearer one truth becomes. The reality behind vampire stories is far more unsettling than the fiction. Today, we're uncovering 7 surprising facts that might completely reshape the way you understand vampires. 1. The first vampires looked nothing like movie vampires. In the earliest stories, vampires weren't elegant or charming. They were described as unnerving figures associated with illness, fear, and the mysteries people couldn't explain. These ancient descriptions reflected the anxieties of communities who struggled to understand disease, death, and the unknown. And from those fears, the legend spread. 2. Every culture has its own version of a vampire. Across the world, different civilizations developed their own vampire-like beings. China's Jiangxi, Ghana's Asanbosam, the Philippines' Manananggal. Different names, different forms, yet all connected by the same universal fear, something that drains life from the living. But how did these ideas travel so far and spread so widely? 3. Bram Stoker never visited Transylvania. The creator of Dracula built his entire world using research, letters, and imagination. He never saw Transylvania himself, not once. The most famous vampire in history was born from books and second-hand accounts, not first-hand experience. And the character's inspiration is even more surprising. 4. Dracula may not be based on VLAD the Impaler. Although the theory is popular, historians have never found solid evidence linking Stoker's Dracula to VLAD III. It's far more likely that Stoker chose the name Dracula because it sounded mysterious, powerful, and perfect for a dark legend. But regardless of the character's origins, belief in vampires during ancient times was very real. Real enough to shape entire professions. 5. Vampire hunters actually existed. In parts of Europe, communities hired individuals they believed could identify or protect them from supposed vampire threats. To these people, this wasn't folklore. It was a community safeguard, a service they thought was necessary in a world filled with fear and superstition. And that fear often came from things they couldn't medically explain. 6. Real medical conditions fueled the legends. Certain illnesses may have inspired vampire folklore. For example, porphyria, which can cause sensitivity to sunlight. Rabies, which affects behavior, reactions to light, and aggression. Other conditions that altered appearance or behavior in ways people didn't understand centuries ago. With limited scientific knowledge, these symptoms could easily look supernatural. And over time, fear led people to extreme interpretations of what they witnessed. 7. Archaeologists have found vampire graves. Researchers have discovered unusual burial practices across Europe. Graves where individuals were restrained in symbolic ways to prevent them from returning after death. These were not monsters. They were people who lived in a time when fear shaped tradition. These discoveries show one thing clearly. Vampires were not just stories. They were reflections of real human fears and beliefs. The real vampire. So the next time you imagine a vampire, don't think only of the elegant figure from movies. Remember the myths, the misunderstandings, the cultural histories, and the human fears that shaped these legends for centuries. Vampires are more than monsters. They are symbols, mirrors of the fears we carry from one generation to the next. And that is what makes their story unforgettable.